Welcome back. If you're cruising to Puerto Rico and wondering how to make the most of your time in port, this video is for you. Whether you want to explore on your own, catch some sun at the island's best beaches, or book an excursion, I'm breaking it all down. I'll show you how to spend your day wisely, give you tips to save money, and help you avoid the common mistakes that cruise passengers make when visiting San Juan. Let's dive into everything you need to know to make your stop in Puerto Rico unforgettable. Before we jump into the beaches and excursions, here are a few quick things you'll want to know about Puerto Rico, especially if it's your first time here. First off, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, which means if you're an American citizen, you don't need a passport to visit. That's already one less thing to worry about. They use the US dollar here, so there's no need to exchange any money or deal with foreign currency. And while Spanish is the main language, English is widely spoken, especially around the cruise port and touristy areas, so getting around is pretty easy. If you've got a phone plan from the US, good news. It should work here just like it does at home. No roaming, no international charges. Uber is available in San Juan, and you'll find taxis right outside the cruise terminal. But honestly, if you're staying in Old San Juan or heading to the beach, a lot of things are within walking distance. And finally, it's hot and humid pretty much year round. So bring sunscreen, stay hydrated, and dress light. As soon as you walk out of the cruise port in San Juan, you're going to be greeted by a lot of locals, and I mean immediately. Unlike some cruise ports that are gated or protected, this one is wide open. That means the moment you step out, you'll be approached by people trying to sell you all kinds of things: excursions, taxi rides, tours, packages, souvenirs, you name it. It can be very overwhelming, especially if you're not sure what to expect or how much you should be paying. And for a lot of cruise passengers, this is exactly the kind of stress they're trying to avoid on vacation. It's loud, it's chaotic, and if you're not prepared, it can feel like way too much. But don't worry, this video is going to help you handle it like a pro. I'm going to show you how to do things on your own, what to watch out for, and if you do want to book an excursion, we'll talk about the smartest way to go about it. So take a breath, you've got options, and I'm going to walk you through them. So when you get off the ship, you've basically got three main options. You can take an excursion and let someone show you around, you can head straight to the beach and relax, or you can just go for a walk and explore the city on your own. And that's exactly where we're going to start. On foot. Now, if you've got the energy, this is one of the best and most budget-friendly ways to experience San Juan. The amazing thing is that there's a ton to see within walking distance of the cruise port. You don't need a guide, you don't need a tour bus, just a good pair of shoes and a sense of adventure. With a little bit of research ahead of time or just watching this video, you'll be able to appreciate the history and beauty all around you, from cobblestone streets to old forts, colorful buildings, and beautiful plazas. This city is full of character. And the best part, it won't cost you a dime. Let's start our walking tour, and I'll show you some of the highlights you won't want to miss. All right, so let's kick off this walking tour with one of the easiest and most impressive spots you can visit right from the cruise port, Castillo San Cristobal. Now, the great thing is that it's really close, about a 10-minute walk, give or take. It's mostly uphill, but nothing too crazy. Just know you'll be walking on some cobblestone streets, and there are a few road crossings along the way. Wear good shoes and take your time. It's totally doable for most people. San Cristobal is actually the largest fort the Spanish ever built in the Americas, and it was designed to protect San Juan from land attacks. El Morro, which we'll get to later, guarded the sea, but this one handled everything coming from inland. When you get there, it's $5 to get in for adults, but kids under 16 are free. And if you've got a national park pass, that works too. The ticket also gets you into El Morro, so it's a great 2-for-1 deal if you plan to visit both. Once you're inside, there's a lot to see. You can walk through underground tunnels, check out old barracks, and climb up to spots with amazing views of San Juan, the ocean, and even your cruise ship. There's also a short film playing inside that gives a quick history overview, and sometimes they do cannon firing demos if you time it right. This is a perfect first stop if you're doing Old San Juan on your own. It's easy to find, super affordable, and packed with history. Plus, it's just a beautiful place to explore and grab some great photos. Next up on our walking tour is El Capitolio, Puerto Rico's Capitol building. And let me tell you, this is one of the most unexpectedly beautiful stops in San Juan. Most people don't even realize you can walk right up to it. And yes, you can go inside. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk from Castillo San Cristobal. The route is mostly flat, but you'll still be walking on those classic old San Juan cobblestones. There's not a lot of shade along the way, so definitely bring some water and maybe a hat. Just follow Calle Norzagare. You can't miss the Capitol. It's that big white dome building that sits right along the coastline. Super photogenic. Now here's something cool. Inside, they have a bronze copy of the US Constitution right alongside Puerto Rico's own Constitution. If you're into history, politics, or just beautiful architecture, this place is absolutely worth checking out. Even if you don't have time to go inside, the outside alone is worth the stop. The building is surrounded by statues, manicured gardens, and these wide marble steps that look out over the ocean. It's one of the best photo ops in the city, and also a really peaceful place to just sit and take it all in. You'll also notice that this is a popular spot for tour buses and large groups. So don't be surprised if you see a few excursions unloading here. This is usually one of their first stops before heading to other highlights in the area. Right next to the Capitol building, literally just down the steps, you'll find Playa Pena Beach. It's not a big beach, and it's definitely more of a local spot, but it's beautiful and usually not too crowded. Now, just a heads up, there are steep stone steps you have to take to get down to the sand, so this isn't ideal for anyone with mobility challenges, but if you're up for it, you'll be rewarded with a peaceful stretch of shoreline, views of the Capitol behind you, and the sound of waves crashing against the rocks. There are no restrooms or facilities here, so come prepared. It's a nice little detour if you want a quick moment by the water without going far from the city sights. All right, now let's head over to one of the most iconic landmarks in all of Puerto Rico, El Morro. Officially, it's called Castillo San Felipe del Morro, but everyone just calls it El Morro. And if you've ever seen a postcard of San Juan, this is probably the fort that was on it. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk from Castillo San Cristobal, and the route is pretty easy. You'll stay on flat, open streets, still cobblestone, so watch your footing, but nothing too steep. You'll pass a few intersections, and then this massive green lawn opens up in front of you. That's how you know you've arrived. Admission is $10 for adults, and kids under 16 get in for free. The good news is that the ticket also gets you into San Cristobal, so if you've already paid for one, you're covered here too. One ticket, 2 forts, easy. Now, El Morro is huge. It was built to protect San Juan from attacks by sea, and it sits way up high, looking out over the Atlantic Ocean. There are 6 levels to explore, with ramps, tunnels, dungeons, cannons, you name it. It's honestly like stepping into a real-life castle. You can also catch a short film inside that gives you the background story, and there are lots of signs explaining what you're looking at. So you don't need a guide. You can totally do this on your own, at your own pace. One of the best parts, the views. From the top of the fort, you get these sweeping views of the ocean, the coastline, the harbor, and even your cruise ship in the distance. It's a great place to stop, snap some photos, and just take it all in. The big grassy area in front of El Morro is also worth a quick mention. Locals love to hang out here, especially on weekends. You'll see families flying kites, kids running around, and just a really relaxed vibe. It's a great spot to take a break before or after exploring the fort. So if you're walking Old San Juan, El Morro is a must. It's iconic, it's packed with history, and it gives you some of the best views in the city. Trust me, it's worth the steps. When I'm on vacation, I'm always on the lookout for entertainment. But let's be real, sometimes you don't even have to look that hard because the entertainment finds you. And that's definitely the case in Puerto Rico. As you're walking around Old San Juan, don't be surprised if you suddenly hear drums, live music, or even see dancers popping up right on the street. Street performers are everywhere, from musicians and salsa dancers to living statues and local artists. It's one of those things that just adds to the magic of exploring the city. You might be heading to a fort or walking to get a coffee, and boom, there's a full-on show happening right in front of you. So take your time, look around, and soak it in. Entertainment in Puerto Rico doesn't just happen on a stage. It's part of the streets, the culture, and the everyday vibe. Next up is the San Juan Cathedral, or if you want the full name, Catedral Basilica Menor de San Juan Bautista. It's one of the oldest cathedrals in the Americas, and yes, it's absolutely worth a stop. From El Morro, it's about a 10 to 15 minute walk, mostly downhill along cobblestone streets. Once you reach Calle del Cristo, you'll see the big white building. It's hard to miss. Now here's the great part, it's free to enter. Inside, you'll find beautiful vaulted ceilings, stained glass, and even the tomb of Juan Ponce de Leon, the famous Spanish explorer. It's peaceful, air-conditioned, and a perfect break from the heat. Just remember, it's an active church, so be respectful if there's a service going on. Whether you're into history, architecture, or just want a quiet moment, this is definitely a worthwhile stop. All right, foodie fans, let's talk about eating in San Juan because yes, the food here is that good. Puerto Rico delivers everything from quick street snacks to elevated chef-driven dining experiences. You'll find all kinds of local favorites like mofongo, empanadillas, alcapurrias, arroz con gandules, and lechon. These aren't just meals, they're part of the island's culture and history. So is it worth trying? Absolutely. Some restaurants are super creative while others stick to that old school homemade flavor, and both are worth checking out. As for prices, it's actually pretty reasonable. You can grab a delicious local lunch for around $10 to $15, and if you're going for a sit-down dinner at a nice restaurant, you're looking at about $20 to $30 per plate. It really depends on where you go, but you don't have to spend a fortune to eat well here. One thing to note, you're not going to find any fast food chains here. The only familiar name I saw was Starbucks. Everything else is local, and honestly, that's part of what makes eating in San Juan so special. Bottom line, the food is fantastic, local dishes are everywhere, and there's something for every budget, so come hungry. All right, let's talk about shopping in San Juan. If you're wandering the colorful streets of Old San Juan, you'll find tons of unique individual shops and boutiques. These aren't your typical chain stores. Instead, you'll see local artisans selling handcrafted jewelry, vibrant artwork, handmade crafts, and souvenirs that really capture the spirit and culture of Puerto Rico. It's the perfect place to pick up something authentic and special to remember your trip by. Walking through these shops feels like stepping into a local market where every piece tells a story. So if you're looking for something truly one of a kind, San Juan's shopping scene won't disappoint. If this looks like a lot of walking, that's because it is. Expect to rack up around 15,000 to 20,000 steps if you're out exploring San Juan all day. But honestly, walking is the best way to do it. Most of the key attractions in Old San Juan are packed into a small, historic area. The streets are narrow, full of charm, and often made of old, uneven cobblestone, which adds to the atmosphere, but makes riding things like scooters or bikes kind of a hassle. Technically, yes, you can rent bicycles, e-bikes, or even scooters around town, but in reality, you'll rarely see anyone actually using them in Old San Juan. The terrain isn't great for wheels, and many scooter apps don't even allow riding inside the historic district. Plus, with all the foot traffic and tight spaces, it's just not practical. So lace up your sneakers, bring some water, and take your time. The best way to explore San Juan is on foot. There's no better way to soak in the sights, sounds, and hidden gems around every corner. Now, I did see a few people using scooters, so yes, that is technically an option, but be aware, not all scooters will handle those uneven surfaces well. If you have safety concerns, that's completely understandable, especially when you're exploring a port city on your own. But here's something to keep in mind. Tourism is a huge part of San Juan's economy, and because of that, the local government does make a real effort to keep tourists safe. When I was there, I noticed a strong presence of uniformed law enforcement in and around the port area and major tourist zones. That said, it's still important to use common sense. Stick to well-populated areas, don't flash valuables, and always keep an eye on your belongings. Just like anywhere else in the world, exercising basic safety precautions goes a long way in making sure your day stays smooth and enjoyable. Now that I'm done giving you the rundown of all the awesome things you can do within walking distance of the port, let's shift gears and talk about the best beach you can head to. There are a lot of popular beaches in San Juan, so many in fact that I made a whole separate video about them. But if you're only here for the day and want my top pick, the beach that checks the most boxes for the average traveler, it's Balneario del Escambron. It's about a 10 to 15 minute drive from the port, so you can get there quickly by Uber or taxi without spending a fortune. Depending on traffic and the time of day, it usually costs around $6 to $10 each way by Uber. Now, let's talk about the beach itself. Escambron is actually a blue flag beach, which means it meets high standards for cleanliness, safety, and environmental protection. The water here is beautiful, clear, turquoise, and generally pretty calm thanks to the protective coral reef just offshore. That makes it a great spot for families, casual swimmers, or anyone just looking to float and relax. There are a few distinct areas to explore here. One side of the beach has a more natural, rugged feel with palm trees and scattered shade, while the other has a more developed layout with lifeguards, showers, picnic areas, and restrooms. It's a public beach, so entry is free, though there is a small parking fee if you're driving yourself. You don't need to pay anything to walk in from the road or get dropped off at the gate. The crowd here is a mix of locals and tourists, especially on weekends. On weekdays, it's usually more peaceful, which can give you a chance to enjoy the scenery without the noise. And speaking of scenery, you'll get some incredible views of Old San Juan and the Fortín de San Jerónimo in the distance. It's a great spot for photos, especially around golden hour. If you get hungry, there are usually food vendors nearby, and you're also just a short ride away from some excellent restaurants in Condado or Old San Juan. And if you're into snorkeling, this beach has a reputation as one of the best spots in San Juan. Calm waters and small rocky areas that attract tropical fish. So if you're looking for a beach that's close to the port, family friendly, safe, and full of local charm, Balneario del Escambron is a solid choice. Just be sure to check the time and set a reminder so you can get back to the ship without any last minute stress. All right, let's talk about booking excursions outside of the cruise line. Because yes, this is absolutely a viable option, and a lot of people do it to save money and get a more personalized experience. Here's my take. If you're going this route, try to book with a smaller tour operator, one with a van or SUV, not a massive tour bus. If you're not traveling with a big group, team up with a couple other cruise passengers and split the cost. Not only does this save you money, but it also gives you more negotiating power. Smaller groups give you way more flexibility. You can control the pace, ask to stay longer at a stop you like, or skip something if you're not interested. It's your day, so you should get to enjoy it your way. Now contrast that with the larger group tours. Once they rope you in, they load you on a big bus and make you wait and wait and wait until every seat is full. So even if you rushed off the ship early, you might end up sitting there for 30 to 45 minutes before the tour even starts. Another thing that can be frustrating, when you find out everyone on the same tour paid different prices, that's never fun. If you're in a group of 4 to 6 and thinking about renting your own vehicle with a driver or guide, here's a tip. Have just one person handle the negotiation. Before you even step off the ship, talk among yourselves about what you want to see, how much you're willing to pay, and who will do the talking. If everyone's chiming in, it gives the tour operator a chance to divide and conquer. Bottom line, going off on your own can be a great experience. Just make sure you plan it smart. When I was in Puerto Rico last, I decided to go with a personal driver. And just to give you a feel for what that's like, here's a little snippet of what it sounded like riding around with him as he gave the tour.
And right there we have the chills of every town of Puerto Rico doing mosaic art. We have flags and chills for every town here, and those are the chills. And right there behind we have the Atlantic Ocean, okay? We're gonna stop here, a few pictures, and then we can keep going.
Thanks for watching.